And hello again, Air Acolytes, and welcome to another exciting edition of Breaking Wind, a Last Airbender podcast, where we like to delve into the world of Korra and whoever the heck is coming afterwards and explore this wonderful Avatari world. I am Jason Roy Gaston. This is VHS Jase, and you may notice somebody new. My friends from the Chronicle 6 podcast, please welcome Chris Panillo.
Hi, how do you do?
I do well, and I hope that you are ready because we're going to talk about episode 7, The Aftermath. It's what I used to call social studies. I could never remember what it was called, so I just called it Aftermath.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately he is.
See, everybody thinks that I just act stupid, but I assure you it's not an act. Okay, so one thing I dug about this episode actually took place before the title card, and that is the recap is being delivered by Tarlok and not the usual announcer.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know why? Do you remember why?
No.
Because the announcer got attacked in the last episode.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he's
Nice.
currently laid up or dead, maybe.
Oh,
So
cool.
I think that, I don't know. I just found that such
Nice
a
little
cool
touch.
Yeah, just a cool touch. Just have somebody else do the intro while the announcer is convalescing. But anyway, if you liked pro bending and you hoped the entire first season was going to be about pro bending, I have some bad news for you. Pro bending for this season is no more because the entire stadium got blowed up, just like Bane did in The Dark Knight Rises. The pro bending tournament building thingy is now dead, and now Bolin and Mako have to go find a new place to live. And Korra shows up and goes, "Hey, why don't you hot little men come join me on Air Temple Island? We can have fun together." And they're just like, No. My hot girlfriend invited me to live at her mansion. Cat. I saw it. It was a cat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, my hot rich girlfriend wants me to live in the mansion. And so we're going to go live in a mansion with my hot, awesome, cute, beautiful, hot, rich girlfriend. And so, of course, Korra is not super keen on that because she still gets a little pointy when she thinks about Mako. But she's just like, okay, I'm going to go now. So, yeah, we still got remnants of the love triangle, but it's definitely a lot more muted and a lot less annoying.
A lot less.
A lot less. Yeah. Moving on, we rejoin one of my favorite characters, Lin Beifong, and she is kicking butt because she's looking for the Equalist. She's looking for Amon. She's wanting to make him pay because he made her look bad, and rightfully so. She did her job badly in the last episode. I have to admit, if she had spent less time flirting with Tenzin, thank you. If she had spent less time fighting and flirting with Tenzin, maybe she would have seen all of the people putting on their masks getting ready to blow the place up. So now Tarlok is wanting her to step down, and she's just like, no, I'm going to go kick some butt right now. And she does. She kicks butt in this episode.
She's in full Law and Order mode.
Absolutely. Well, they have discovered a cache of weapons, and this cache of weapons has led them to the CEO of Cabbage Corp. You knew they were not going to let this running gag die. Even though the Cabbage Man has died, the gag lives on.
I thought it was hilarious. I
was not expecting it. I was like, oh, Cabbage Corp, that's just a throwback line. And then they drag him away and he's just screaming, "Not my Cabbage Corp!" And I'm like, that's kind of forced, but I'll allow it.
That's a multi-generational cabbage empire that man is.
Yeah, I like to think that this poor guy took his cabbage cart, despite the fact that it kept getting destroyed over and over and over again, and eventually just became this gigantically rich, powerful businessman. And I don't know,
I thought that might have been his grandson. Because it's gone over, like it's been that epic.
Yeah, I mean, it could be his grandson. He's passed it down. Maybe Cabbage Corp is evil. I don't know. I know the dude was framed, but he could be evil. Maybe. Why not? what is next? Oh yeah, not my cabbage corp. I liked this next scene because I've told you I like it whenever actions and events have consequences. And so we catch up with the douchey pro bender who got his bending powers taken away last time. And as you can see, he still don't look good. I mean, we're talking like Tom Hanks in the last act of Philadelphia Bad right now. And he is kind of gone from being this mega douche to being super duper humble to the point that he's talking to Korra like she's just a regular person. And he's just like, you know, Korra, do me a favor and go get him. All right, just get him for me.
Yeah.
And he still has that kind of that attitude at the end. See you later, Avatar. And I don't know. I like that scene. I like the fact that there's scars remaining and that this is indeed the aftermath and people have to live with the consequences of what came before. So now, in the super hot girlfriend, super rich mansion with a swimming pool, we find Bolin and Mako, and Korra joins them. Korra is still kind of standoffish whenever it comes to Asami. And, you know, of course, you know, Asami's got the guy that Korra thinks she's entitled to. But Asami is cool. And Asami's just like, hey, Korra, let's go do something fun. And so she takes Korra race car driving. And Korra likes this. And
can I
really
mention
like
just before that scene, I just wanted to kind of throw in one of the funniest moments is with the butler.
Oh my gosh, that poor
Ocean.
Oh yeah, you drive them off and
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That poor butler. The fact that you know, Bolin immediately does a cannonball after that. You just see the butler's face just go and he can't say
And a
anything.
very funny kind of like drawing like of his head pulsating.
Yes.
Like, and he's just looking at the screen. There's a big like lump in his head from the stress.
Well, I know those of us who are parents, we know that. We know that vein.
on the last scene with the pro bender when it goes, "See you later, Avatar." On the subtitles it says Avatar.
Yeah, yes, Avatar. But yes, he was saying that in the closed captions, because I watch the closed captions because I am deaf. It does say Avatar. Avatar. So I don't know. Maybe he just looks at her and goes, "Hey, Avatar." I don't know. Like the way M. Night Shyamalan looks at Aang and goes, "Ung." We're never gonna let him live that down. So Korra and Asami unexpectedly become friends, which I thought was cool. I like it whenever they have. I like it when they have two female characters on screen at the same time, have a problem, and then work it out. And they're like, you know what? We're cool with each other. I like that. To me, and it's a shame that's kind of cliche breaking, because you always have this impression that if two women are on screen at the same time, they've got to have some kind of problem with each other, especially if there's a boy involved. But no, they're cool with each other for a little while. And then
for the backdrop of that scene, though, I thought was really cool was those old like 1920s inspired style racing cars, and the fact that they brought that in, I just loved it. I just thought it was great.
I really like how it's roaring 20s kind of.
Yeah, and you got to throw it out to the score too.
So
that
awesome.
Swing jazz score that's going on in the background.
Oh
this show really differentiated itself so much from the last Airbender. And I honestly think that's where a lot of the fan disconnect came in, was because Korra never tried to be the last Airbender. It was like, nope, we're doing our own thing. You're either going to like it or hate it. And of course, everybody's like, why can't you be like the old show? Because it's cool. Anyway, we're going to have a little monkey wrench in Korra and Asami's blossoming relationship, because Korra overhears Asami's father, Mr. Sato, talking about really sticking it to Cabbage Corp, and they need to hit it now. And oh my gosh, Mr. Sato, he's an equalist. He's in on it. Oh, this is just terrible. So another thing I liked about this is that even though Korra does make some stupid mistakes, she also makes very good decisions. And instead of going to Asami saying, Asami, I just heard your father saying something very weird, she immediately goes to Lin and Tenzin. She reports to them.
Oh, she rats them out immediately.
She rats them out. She doesn't rat them out. She does her duty as the Avatar. She doesn't try to spare her friend. Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't try to spare her friend. She's just like, Len, Tenzin, yeah, Mr. Sato, he's crooked. Only problem is, as soon as they get there, Mr. Sato just immediately starts gaslighting, saying, oh, no, this is what the Avatar heard. The Avatar is mistaken. I love the Avatar, but she's mistaken in this case. Just your basic slimy millionaire thing. Jase, I gotta ask you, did you ever buy it?
Did I ever buy it? No.
Did you ever buy that he was innocent?
No.
I remember thinking he was.
Yeah, I could have saw it go either way. I could have seen him either be guilty or innocent, and that's what like keeps Asami and Korra like at arm's length. And I'm glad he was guilty, because that would have just brought in the two women at each other's throat trope.
I just love how evergreen clearly the show is, because of the parallels you can take from what goes on today.
Absolutely.
You know, billionaires funding a political leaning, and that's what he's doing in this. He's an equalist.
I miss the days when this was fantasy.
But I think that's a testament to the quality of writing that this show it has. I mean, they are able to deal with massive themes like that and keep it evergreen just because of smart writing and smart approaches. But yeah, it was pretty well giveaway that he was crooked.
Absolutely. So, they meet Deep Throat here.
Yeah.
they meet an Equalist informant who tells them that Sato has a secret lab in his underground, in his undercarriage, and under his house, actually, I should say. So of course, Korra, Tenzin, and Lin immediately go back, and we get this big fight between Korra and Mako, because Mako is just like, you just hate my girlfriend. This is honestly the first time on one of these discussions that I've actually been on Korra's side as far as Asami goes, because usually Korra is the troublemaker. She's the one trying to come between them, and here Korra's actually right. And she's doing her due diligence.
I think I remember thinking that Hiroshi was innocent for a good, 10 seconds. I was like, whoa, he's innocent? And then, this time, I don't know how many times I've seen the show all the way through, so I don't remember that multiple times. Just the one time I remember thinking, he sounded like, I thought he was innocent for a minute. Definitely.
I mean, it could have gone either way.
It's also a really cool. It's a really cool idea too, because it pretty well sets up how deep this thing is going. Like, it's an all, obviously, in oligarchs, in business people it's threaded all the way through that community, the Equalists. So,
speaking of going deep, Lin comes into the Sato house and does the foot stomping trick that she learned from her mother, obviously, and daredevils the fact that there is a big, huge room underneath the house.
Cool. That
it
moment
was. I don't know if you noticed, but did you notice when she brought her foot up, the sole of her shoe went whoosh. She metal bended her shoe. That was awesome. I love little touches like that maybe you don't notice the first time, and then you're like, wait a second, was she barefoot that whole time? Nope, she wears shoes. She's not like her mom. So yeah, do you think your dad knows about this whole? Yeah, that was great. Bolin's such a moron, but I love the guy. Big stupid sweet angel. So yeah, this is not looking good for Mr. Sato. And
I like the whole concept of the superhero police force that she's got. Like, they're all vendors. That's pretty cool idea.
This is what I think is cool, is that the entire show is about to make a heel turn. Right. And go into a genre it's never gone into before. And that is Korra starts flirting with being a science fiction show. Because down in the basement, we have these mech tanks made out of platinum, so the metal benders can't bend them. And I love that. I know a lot of people have trouble with the mech suits on this show, because this is not the last time you see the mech suits. I think they're cool.
So do I, and I think it's keeping on brand with the aesthetic and the style of the show, because it's a real steampunk influence, like a fusion Asian influence. So yeah, I could totally see this, and yeah, it was cool. Go beat up some robots. Well, not robots, but mech suits.
Quite frankly, if you had no problem with the Fire Nation of 60 years ago having a mile-long war balloon, you shouldn't have a problem with them having mech suits 60 years later. You just should.
That drill thing that they used on the city, that was definitely steampunkish.
Yep, the giant drill and the tanks that went vertically up too. You know,
yeah, it's like,
there's precedent's been set for this type of thing for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. This made sense to me.
Yeah, it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy, and it veers into science fiction every once in a while with Korra. I like that. I like it whenever a show straddles a couple of genres. So they hear some commotion because the mech suits wake up, and Mako goes down into the hole with Bolin, and they tell Asami, "You stay here because you're just this rich girl, and you're cute, and I don't want to see your face messed up.
Protect the money."
Yeah, they're saving her for later. You're my bread and butter. You stay up here. And then we get this really cool fight between the mechs and the benders. I enjoyed this scene so much just because of the sheer gratuitous action in it. And oh my God, Lynn, you devilish, just absolutely dangerous, beautiful woman. I love the Baraka claws.
Right. That was awesome.
I love them to pieces. I don't know. I just was getting shades of Baraka and X-23 and Wolverine and just all this other stuff. Freddy Krueger.
It's just, great thing.
If I was fighting her, I'd have nightmares about her. You want to know what else I like about the mech suits? You can tell they repurposed them from like diving equipment.
Yep.
Because it reminds me of the Big Daddies.
Yeah, it's got a very 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea look to it.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. However, Team Avatar, they go down, but that's okay because the other Team Avatar is here and they're here to save the day. So they're just gonna pick them up and walk out. But oh no, they've been caught. So everyone's been caught. Who's left? Excuse me, I was looking for the restroom. Can you tell me where it's at? No, this is Asami. Asami shows up and she's like, "Daddy, what are you doing? You're so embarrassing." And then we get the Darth Vader moment where he hands her the Equalist glove. And then we get this rather clever bit of animation where she puts it on and she looks evil. And we're just like, oh, she's going to join her parents, or her parent, I should say. She's going to be evil. But nope, she's I love you, Dad. Zap. Sorry about the heart condition you have now.
She kind of gets revenge because in that earlier scene, the driver at the track, which I presume was her father's employee, just had randomly decided to murder her and Korra.
Well, yeah, but in this kind of society, I can see how you would, want to do that kind of thing. He tried to go all Luigi on her and everything. I don't know. I really liked the animation. I liked the voice performance. At this point, Asami she's in the running to be like one of my favorite characters at this point.
Oh yeah.
And as the show goes on, she becomes like a more essential part of the team. She's basically the Sokka of the team, just the character with no powers who has to make do, which honestly comes into play a lot in the next episode. I did a boo-boo, I should say. My ADHD kind of acted up on me while I was watching this episode the first time. Mm-hmm. And after a while I thought, wow, this episode is really long. Is this an hour-long episode? I had spaced out and I started the second episode, so I've already seen the next episode. So I was bad. I'm sorry. I am confessing though.
Wait, you haven't seen the show all the way through yet?
I have seen the show, but we have an agreement that we're watching one episode per show per Breaking Wind installment, and I messed up. I messed up. Okay. I know I was the one who broke. I always thought it was going to be you, but I didn't do it on purpose. I did it because I have no attention span. So Interestingly enough, Lynn wakes up on this metal bender blimp and reveals that she's going to resign as head of police. But she's not going to let the case go. No, she's going to go all vigilante. She's going to take him down using the rules of the street because she don't want to stick with this cop thing. And may I also say, very tough thing to do.
Right.
You find out later she has a lot of resentment.
Movie thing to do as well.
You find out later she had a lot of resentment for her mom. She has a lot of resentment to her mom. She had a lot of resentment to her mom. And so it's kind of funny because if you really look at that, she's got a lot in common with her too.
Well, you can't imagine Toph being the most warmest of mothers, I wouldn't think. I think she would have been maybe a little bit of a tough mum.
I could just see like her tossing a baby into a bed and like that's not even there, and her like earth bending a bed into existence, and the baby just like drops on a piece of rock and starts crying. Oh, quit whining. That's a good bed. Yeah. Toph has got a really messed up family. We're going to meet them in the future. So I like this scene right here where Korra encourages Mako to go be with Asami because she's obviously upset because she's lost her whole family and she's going to go live on Air Temple Island with them all, and just not a good day to be Asami. And we leave. Well, the blimp leaves us actually. We're standing in one place, but the blimp leaves, and there we are, left with an uncertain future. What is going to happen next? I know what's going to happen next, but what is going to happen next? Well, you're going to have to tune in next time on Korra, the Legend of Korra.
Well, what's the next episode?
The next episode, that is a good question. I don't know. You put me on the spot. Thank you so much. See, this is why I don't like you.
Yeah.
I pretend I do, but I don't.
That's why I enjoy
the Legend of Korra episodes. The when extremes meet.
Okay, cool.
Basically, every winter in Texas, it's 20 degrees in the morning and 90 degrees by noon. That's when extremes meet. So, thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, the first time watching it, I really loved this episode, obviously. I mean, I certainly, after that episode a couple of weeks ago with the love triangle, bit of a body blow, but they're really back into it. I love the whole Equalist storyline. Korra hasn't completely won me over as yet. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'm not like smitten like I was with Aang in the sense of this is a great character. Maybe that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. I liked Aang straight off the bat. I think Korra's a bit of work, but again, being fathers of teenage girls, that's pretty accurate to real life. So but I love all the political stuff. It's really digging. I'm digging it. So I assume that there's a lot of this to come. So if that's the case, great. Maybe there's maybe not. Who knows?
Chris, what did you think of this episode?
This was such a fantastic episode. I really like when a story arc wraps up and then there's the aftermath that they have to deal with. And I liked how it's titled The Aftermath. This has a lot of character development. The plot obviously moves on significantly.
I thought this episode was a really fantastic episode. I like the ending of the Amon storyline, and then this is the aftermath, and we get to see a lot of kind of broken pieces sort of coming back together with each of the relationships between the characters. As far as the plot, I really like the development of like where they're going with the show at this point. I kind of enjoy how she's fitting into this like weird political world, and there's a rebellion, and it's definitely some kind of politics as well. What the original Avatar was trying to do has given way to politics, which resulted in Amon. And then I really love Asami. I think you touched on this earlier. She's really sort of coming to the forefront of the characters, and she does play a little bit of a role, like Mako in the previous.
Yeah.
What's his name?
We need to do a little bit of internet bending here.
Yeah.
So come join us next time for When Extremes Meet. And Before you get out of here, though, please visit the link in the video description below to see how you can donate to us to Patreon or become a YouTube channel member and give us money, because money helps the world go round. We want to be money benders. And it'd be so much easier to get it this way instead of having it stuffed into my pants every night. That's my side job. Sorry. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care. And yeah, don't be an equalist. Those gloves sting.